request for our sister Beverly, who is really going through some trials in her life, and it's causing her to kind of get her head spun around and try to figure out where is she in the Lord, and is it discipline or is it spiritual attack? So she needs prayer that the Lord would strengthen her into her inner man and solidify her in the gospel. Give her the word to grasp onto, Lord, and be her hope and comfort. And the thing I would say is, discipline. The Father never disciplines us from a sense of justice. Like, if I get angry at my kid, sometimes I want to take my anger out on him for the sole purpose of him knowing how angry I am. What is that? That's my sense of I want some justice here. He broke something of mine, he did something wrong, and he needs to feel it so he knows how mad I am. Because I'm not going to feel like the scale is balanced until he knows and acknowledges it. That's not how God disciplines us. God is never angry at us. We're his children. He's sworn to never be angry with us again. If he disciplines us, he says in Hebrews, it's for our good. Doesn't mean it's pleasant while we go through it, but it's so that we can be partakers of his holiness. Discipline from God's perspective for his children is just a training. And no child goes in this life with a good parent without discipline. And it's not because you do something bad. It's because you're being trained to grow in him. It's just necessary. And he scourges every son that he receives. And sometimes, like when my kid was little, I was waiting for opportunities to teach him little object lessons. So I would wait for him to reach out to something that he shouldn't, so that I could get in there and discipline and teach him, So it wasn't about what he was doing. It was more about the principle. And the Father's discipline is always a teaching. It's a training. Now, it's not always pleasant. It's usually not pleasant while we're going through it, but it yields peaceable fruit. And afterwards, we're so thankful that we went through all the things we went through, because then when he comforts us to the degree that we've been afflicted, he comforts us that much more. And the affliction really just makes room in our being to contain the comfort, which then spills over to become comfort for other people. No, God is not mad at you, no matter what you've been through. Your faith in the blood proves that God is for you and not against you. He's your advocate and your friend. He's your father. He's your intercessor. He's your high priest. He's your shepherd. He's given his life for you. How much more will he give you all things, right? And who will lay a charge against God's elect? It is God who justifies. And if he's wanting to teach you anything, it's for you to be able to stand boldly in his proclamation of his love for you, to where nobody can take you away from it anymore. I used to believe every accusation that came my way, and I was disciplined through all of that to learn to lay hold of the gospel, and no one's going to steal my crown. I don't care if 50 people did have a dream about me, and people with channels of 30,000 people rebuked me in front of everyone, and pastors kicked me out of their churches, and everyone decided I was a wolf. You can't move me away. Why? Because I've been disciplined. I've been trained. Where is my food? It's the gospel of Jesus Christ, and it's stronger than anything I face. I used to be a weakling. I used to run when no one flees, but now I'm bold as a lion in the gospel. What is that? That's the result of training from the Lord, discipline from the Father, not because he's angry at me, but for my good. And all the afflictions I went through made a space in me so that his comforts could flow out and feed others. And that's what he's doing. Okay? So if you've gone through tragedy, if you've gone through hardship, and you're wondering where you stand on the blood. If you stand on the blood, you're standing in the position of a co-heir with Jesus Christ and a brother. And there is no higher position in the Bible than brother. That's why John in the book of Revelation called himself a brother, not an apostle, not a teacher. He said, I'm your brother. And because being a brother means you're a co-heir with Christ. You're seated in the heavenlies in him. You're the Father's child, and he's going to show forth his grace and kindness towards you forever. And the momentary light afflictions we go through in this life are not worthy to be compared with the eternal weight of glory that's being wrought in us, while we look not to those things which are seen, but to the things that are eternal, the things that are unseen, our faith, the gospel. So discipline is about training you to look away from the situation with your eyes and look by the eyes of faith to God's promise and to his word. So he lets us go through afflictions to turn our environment into a wilderness so that we will place our hope fully on the anchor of his promise in Christ. Okay, we're going to take my kid now, so I'll talk to you later.